I'd like to welcome you to the third annual Christmas in July event called Crafty Christmas in July 2023. Now it's hosted by me, Terry from Sweet Pea Papers and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group, and Lisa Fisher from Lisa's Paper Lace and Bling Facebook group and Paper Lace and Bling Etsy shop. Now this year we also have 13 collaborators that are going to be working with us, and all their links are going to be below. Each one is committed to doing 8 videos each, so that works out to being a lot. So you're going to have 20 from me at least videos, and you're going to have probably that many from Lisa. Then you're going to have over 100 over 100 from our collaborators, and so you'll have plenty of Christmas cheer for the month of July. Now, I'm also, well, as usual, because I do it every year, I'm going to be running a promotion giveaway. Let me do that for you. Through Sweet Pea Papers YouTube channel and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group only. Okay, just the two. And it's open to the U.S. only for the physical prizes, but this year, instead of 5 prizes, we have 8 because Natalie from Line.Arrow was nice enough to donate 3 kits, and so that way we can open it up to our international visitors as well. And when I tell you how to enter, then you'll know what to do. So to enter, 2 easy ways. One way is to just simply subscribe and comment below each one of the Crafty Christmas in July 2023 Sweet Pea Papers videos. Now, you don't have to comment under each one, but each one that you comment under gets you an entry. Okay, so if today's the 15th and you want to go all the way back to the 1st, I recommend going back to the 1st. That's the video where I show you the prizes and welcome you to the month-long event and all that good stuff. And you want to see the prizes because I'm not going to tell you what the other 5 are. Ha 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 ha. I'm so evil. Anyway, so the first way to enter is to subscribe and comment under the video, and you have to use the hashtag Crafty Christmas in July 2023 in your comment. If you're outside of the United States, please put your country. That way I know that you're eligible for a digital prize only. Okay, the second way to enter is to go to the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group and post a picture or a video or something of your Crafty Christmas in July 2023 project. Now, same rules apply. Every post that you make gets you an entry, and you must use the hashtag in your entry, in your post. And then if you're out of the U.S., please make a note of it when you post your pictures. That way I know when I put you in the drawing that you're outside the U.S. and eligible for the digital prize only, or one of the 3 digital prizes. Each post, like I said, gets you an entry. So if you have 5 pictures, I suggest you break them up into 5 posts, because it's not by picture in your post, it's by post. Okay? Okay. So now Lisa's running a special for the month of July over at Paper Lace and Bling on Etsy. If you follow the shop, which, you just click that little red heart, with every purchase of $15 or more of product, you'll receive a free yard of lace. So also, if you follow the shop and your order totals over $35, you also get free shipping. So yay, no hashtag needed. I just put it on there to remind you, and no coupon or anything needed. Now, I forgot to mention that the event runs July 1st through July 31st. That's how long you have to get your entries in for the giveaway from Sweet Pea Papers and also the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group. And then I will do a drawing on August 1st. I'll do the drawing live on camera. You'll be able to see me do it. And then I will post it on YouTube only. I'm not going to post the winners' names in the Facebook group. You're going to have to come watch the video and see if you've won. I'm expecting a lot of entries, so you better make sure to get over here and watch, or there's no way you'll know if you've won a prize. There's no secondary drawing you know, for any prizes that aren't claimed. Okay, I think that's it. Now's the video. So we're on page, let's see. This is our book so far. We're on page 19B. So we're all the way back here already. Our last page was our card page. No, it wasn't. The second to last page was our card page. And I added this little bit of bling. And then for in between here, we've already added this page. I went back through, oh darn. I went back through and added lace to a bunch of the pages and some other, and some ribbon, a little bit of extra ephemera to kind of help dress it out a little bit. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave this little mitten on here. I don't know. I thought of the kids. I thought the little mitten. Let me fix this real quick. Because that when the glue dried, it wasn't enough. We're not making this one really fancy. We don't really have time to do a bunch of stuff to it. Plus, this particular book doesn't really lend itself, I don't think, to being super duper fancy. Alright, so let's make sure this is paper clipped on top. I loosened up this paper clip a little bit so that it didn't clip on so tight. And I don't know if we did this on camera or not, but I just put the paper clip through the 2 loops. Oh, I got these on Temu for like $1 something, and I got 50 of them, I believe. They have a bunch of different kinds. Anyway, let's make sure that's on over that. And then now the back side, we need to make sure when we put our paper on and everything that it's a page that can have this clip on it. Okay, so we don't want anything attached over here on this side. So let's put this away for right now. Oh no, we can't. Yes, we can. So we'll need to cut our paper. And we're going to have a pocket across the bottom, so I'm going to make it to where there's the lesser amount of detail is at the bottom. Okay, we're going to mark this. And then here's the rest of our page. Okay, so I've already, remember we're on the back side, so we've already cut and inked the bigger page, or yeah, the actual page. This is the paper. And so we're going to need to ink this in brown. So we're doing the pages in green and the papers in brown. So we're going to, as you can tell by the napkins, we're going to decoupage. Now obviously, I'm going to set it aside to dry, but I'm going to talk to you real quick about something else that I'm going to do to it. that works really well when you decoupage onto wood. So we're going to try it as an experiment, decoupaging onto paper. Okay, now I got this napkin in a swap, and it's just beautiful. Let me turn this around. This goes this way. And it came like this. So I cut it in half, and I was looking at it, and I was thinking, you know, that doesn't seem quite right. And then I realized it still had one of the two white backings on it. I'm pretty sure it had two because of the way this looks. I think the person just took off one and didn't realize there was one more. You can tell because look how white it is, and it's still not near a see-through. You can see how much more transparent that is, this one, than this one. Okay? So you take the back off. You just start at the corner. If you can't grab a hold of it, or if you can't get the corner to start, then just take a piece of masking tape and stick it on there, and then peel it back slowly, and you can peel the layers apart, which on the other half I didn't have to do. There we go. You just pull it back off like that, and you can keep the back if you want. I do. They're fun to use when you're doing artist playing cards and things like, or trading cards, playing cards. Use playing cards a lot, so I said playing cards. To put a base down that you can make kind of wrinkly or have some texture or whatever. Okay? So we're only going to use one of these, and I want to use it to where the bottom half has the birds on it. So we can put this side away. Now what I did was I took a piece of paper and I cut it the height of the writing card on the page before, because I know that that will fit. Oh, you know what? That's the size of the page. Pretty sure. That mean I made it too... Oh, no, it isn't. No. See, no, that's still going to be too long because it's going to go in a pocket. Let's cut a little bit more off the bottom. There I go thinking again. 5 a.m. It's not 5 now, but... Okay. So I made it a little bit shorter. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make the cuts for the corners ahead of time. So what I did was I have this health card that isn't good anymore from my insurance company, and I just randomly cut different shapes. There's no rhyme, no reason. I didn't measure it or anything. And then I took this one that I thought would look good on a taller, bigger tag, and I drew a diagonal line. Some people can cut it off, flip it over and cut it off, but I can't do that. I have a little bit of an issue with my hands, so I can't really hold it and cut it like that without drawing the line. Okay, so we're just going to cut these off. Now, when some people decoupage, they put a coating of the decoupage material down first, the Mod Podge or homemade Mod Podge, which is 2/3 glue to 1/3 water. White glue, like PVA, Elmer's glue, type glue. I happen to have some Mod Podge left, so we're going to use that. And I use this peel and stick or whatever that's called, saran wrap stuff by Glad, I think. Anyway, so that when I put my lid back on it, the lid doesn't stick in the threads, just so you're wondering what that is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to, this is a very narrow fit here, so I want to position this where you can see the card through it, where I want the birds to be on the card and still give myself enough room at the bottom, a little wiggle room. I want to move this over. Wow, to get that cardinal's tail on there. I think part of his tail is going to go off the side. Yeah, that is so close. Almost afraid to do it that close. I'm almost thinking I'm better off centering the card and then flipping it over and losing a little bit of his tail. I'm going to get a soft brush. Now, I'm not very good at this. I've only done it a few times. I usually end up with wrinkles, but I'm okay with wrinkles. I like the texture. And people that make wrinkles always say that. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm going to start in the middle, go out. And I can see where the card is, so I'm actually going way over the card. And I'm putting a lot on the brush. A lot of the Mod Podge. So I want it to go through the napkin to the paper. Oops. Might have got a little carried away there. But I am getting some wrinkles. In fact, it looks like part of it isn't sticking. So I'm just going to kind of keep working it. And try to go out from the center. Oh, for goodness sakes. Normally I don't do it this way, but it looks like it doesn't want to stick. It might be the finish on this paper. I don't know. Yeah, it's giving me more wrinkles though. Probably because it's actually sticking. See, it's not even going through the napkin all the way. Wonder why. I don't mind getting it on my glass surface. Let's see. Should go long and careful because I just tore that. I should be able to pick this up, put it right back on there. Just kind of smooth it out. Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm not Mod Podging it to the glass. And then obviously we're going to have to wait for this to dry. Then once it's dry, okay, once it's dry, I'm going to hit it with my Timmy dryer, but maybe not. I don't know. Let me set it somewhere that it won't hurt anything. Hold on. So I'm going to set that aside to dry. And I'm going to seal this up and then close it up. Then I'm going to put you on pause real quick and clean out my brush and wipe off my surface. Okay, we're going to cut the pocket for the page, and then we'll put the page in the book. But first I wanted to mention that once that's dry and I trim the edge all around, then I'm going to stencil on the back of the page with my little rounded stencil, and I just been doing this quarter in the corners, so I'll do that. And then I'm going to spray the front of it with this Krylon Triple Thick Crystal Clear Glaze, and it's amazing. It works well on, well, I've used it on decoupaged wood with excellent results. Very shiny, very good finish, and I've been able to use that little tray to store all my bottles for my glue in, and it's one of those little Dollar Tree wooden, you know, looks like a little serving tray, one of those little deals. So anyway, you have to wait till it's completely dry and then just hit it once with the spray, let that dry, hit it again with the spray and let that dry. There's no reason to spray it hard or puddle it or, you know, do anything like that. And I'm hoping on the paper it will look just as good as it does on the tray, but if not, it may at least put a little bit of shine on, because we had to use that matte medium because I was out of the regular. Okay, so I just thought I would mention that before I brought the tag back when it's dry, which will be at the end of this video or the beginning of the next video. I decided to just let it air dry. Okay, so let's make our pocket. Oh. Well, that's just not going to happen, is it? I forgot we cut it more than half. Let's do it this way. So let's make it here. And here. I don't want to make it too high. I want to show off the napkin, but I don't want the napkin to fall out either. Okay. Let's mark there. I'm assuming that's the width. Okay, where's my height? Oh, there it is. I knew I made a second mark on there. Lots of charms, lots of charms. So that means our book has lots of charm, right? Hopefully so. You don't want to use the green on the brown. Hopefully the tag is narrow enough that it won't be super tight, but that spray paint will help protect the paper versus just the decoupaged paper versus just having the paper itself with the layer of Mod Podge. You can put another layer of Mod Podge on there, or two, however many you like, to help seal it up, make it smoother, less likely to tear. And like I said, the only thing I'm going to do on the back is a little bit of stenciling just so it isn't blank. The back is going to be white. But I didn't want to use the cream colored paper with that napkin because you would be able to see the cream color of the paper through the napkin. I didn't really want that either. And our cards, our pages are white, so. We're going to have a little bit of fun on the next page. Well, hopefully it'll be fun. Okay. Let's add this onto here. Take that off for right now. Okay. And then we'll just finish with our tag, and when we're done with it, we'll put it in the pocket. You can put other decoration on the top if you like, if you have some holly or... I'm gonna... Well, maybe we will finish it up in the next video, the last video. I'm just going to put a hole and put some lace through the top with a charm. So you guys probably know how to do that, I would think. Just pin the bulb pin to the tie. Okay. Bottom. You can always tell it's the bottom because on the back side the holes are going to be on the right. And I had that on and then I smushed it around. Okay, so now we can put this in the book. It's awful skinny and thin. You may have to manipulate the rings around a little bit to get the opening, you know, where you can get at it. However, I would caution you to be careful. You don't want to tear any of your pages with the ring itself. Because, you know, if you do too much, you can tear the holes. If, you know, remember you always have that option of putting the reinforcers on there. So then we'll clip this on here. Let's do it a little ways above the pocket. Like that. Okay, there's our charm. And when we turn the page, it will be like this, and then we will have our card in here, and it will cover this paper clip a bit too. This paper clip is just so tight. Tight, tight, tight. Okay, so then that puts us here. I don't think we're going to get that very last page in. I'll just make a page for that. So we may. I keep saying that. Then we may. So the next page we're going to have to cut out a big one, and I forgot to do it ahead of time. So that means we're going to have to do it now. No big deal. I don't know why I put the mark up there. Okay. Okay, we're going to put our holes in there. We may run out of time before we get this one done, and we'll finish it in the next video if we do. Well, I guess I didn't have to make this. Even though that's the next step we would have done. Because we don't need it to make the page now, do we? No, we don't. Whenever I go back in to try to make it better, I always make it worse. You'd think I would learn. Over here it isn't as much because it's over closer to the edge of the page. Your paper is, but... Okay, and I'll do the back side. Off camera. Okay, so we're going to have to make our paper this size. I can put this up here, actually. So we're going to make the paper this out of this. And we're using the lighter side. Make it the width of our inner line. Okay, then I'm going to ink it with the brown. Okay. So now once we get this done, we're going to cut a policy closure, but it's only going to be about this wide at the top and the bottom. And we're going to make it out of this. But then we're also going to make a side piece that comes in, and you'll see what we're going to do with that too. So let's make our 2-inch wide strip. Yeah, that we'll use for the center. So now we want these two ends because we want to be able to hook it over the edge, remember? So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut this in half. And then we need it farther apart than that, don't we? Well, let's cut it in half and see where we're at. We're at half. That's where we'll be. Okay. Make sure we keep our brown edges to the outside. Then let's cut a 1/2 inch. No, now I'm not sure how I want it to do this. A 1/4, a 1/2 inch. And a 1/2 inch. Let's cut a 1/4 inch off each one. Okay, now we're going to score them. If we score them at half, that'll be about right. Let's do 3/8. We'll split the difference. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make the holes. We'll do that together so they'll be in the same spot on top and the bottom. I use the small holes. It's going to be the opposite end of the ends you scored. Okay, one's a little bit shorter than the other, which is fine in the grand scheme of things, except for what I want to do right now. Okay. I want them to be even, so that when I make the holes, everything's even, Steven. Okay, now, we want the hole to be at least a 1/2 inch up. So I'm going to put it up here. Sorry about that. I have something going on in one of my design team groups. But I had to bring it in here to put it on the charger. So it may ding a few times. Okay, and I cut these. And I pinched my hand in the hole punch. Don't ask me how. Okay. But I did. Because I'm special. And only special people like me are granted the ability. Let's see. Should we do silver because of the silver ring, silver and gold? I think I want to do gold. Oh, we're going to need a couple more of these out of the paper. Which we won't have until we do the other strap. We won't have enough. I printed some out, so we'll see. I have to go get that off the printer. Okay, let's make the holes in these. Alright, now we're going to have to cut our center strap so we have scraps left to cut. No, we don't. No, we don't. Okay, now I'm going to make my card out of this. Boy, I'm having a lot of trouble with timers and buzzers and things, aren't I? Not with this. Alright, let me cut this first. Okay, so I want this to be three inches. which it almost already is, then we only need it to be well, in fact, let's go ahead and take our circles out of here. I've printed another one of these pages, I believe. If not, I will, because I'm not going to make the card on camera. You guys have seen me make a bunch of those. So I should have punched the hole after I glued this on. Alright, I'll just repunch it from the back. I knew that seemed too easy a minute ago. Something was missing. I felt like something was missing, and you guys didn't even stop me or anything. You guys are not my friends anymore. No, you are. You are not my friends anymore. I've been up since 10:30 last night. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. So, there you go. Maybe that helps explain some of it. Okay. So, we can actually glue these on now while we're waiting for those to dry and punch the holes in them. What I'm trying to decide is, do I want them in the center, or do I want them off center just a little bit? I think I want them off center just a little bit. We're going to have to ink both sides, I just realized. I mean, you don't have to if you don't intend on ever opening them, which I don't, but I'm going to ink them anyway. Because I don't ever intend on untying them. But things could happen. Okay. So the reason we did it the way we did is it doesn't matter which one we make the top and which one we make the bottom. It does matter. This is going to be the front of this. So that means we want our other strap to come in from the right. So if we're going to off-center them, we need to off-center them this way. So that means I'll need to glue it on right about there. I'll take this piece and line it up. Glue it on. That's right, we're going to need 2 more holes. Or 2 more circles. Which is 2 more holes. When you make the circles, you make the holes, so I need to ink these. These will be to cover the brads on the underside. And this is to cover up our edges, and we'll punch our holes in the center again. I kind of like them without better. They won't work that way though. It doesn't work that way. Okay. Put that right through there. Open it up sideways. It's wider left to right than it is down from the top. Now, if I thought just this would hold the card in, I could just leave this. But also in the interest of doing something a little different, hope this will be big enough. Cover those. They have awfully long feet. They have long feet. They need to be one size shorter than they are. So whatever size, yeah, see, this isn't going to cover it. So I'm just going to leave it off. And just wipe it off here. Then when it dries, I'll take my glue eraser to it to make sure I get everything off. And it doesn't hurt anything to leave them open. You know what I mean? I mean, people see them all the time, everywhere. And like I said, we're not really planning on opening these flaps anyway. And I'll show you why in just a minute. So I should have made a 1 1/4 inch, which is the next bigger one, hole or circle to cover it. So now we're going to take this one, and we only need it to be that long. So let's score it here. cut it there. You know what I forgot to do with these? Okay, I'll just re-ink them a little bit. Isn't absolutely positively necessary, but I think it makes it look a little more finished. Okay. It's looking very Christmassy already. So let's cut this where we marked it. And then we'll score it where we marked it. Let's make sure that's where we want everything to be. Oh no, that's way long. Yeah, by the time we round the corners, I think I keep holding stuff off camera. I apologize. Of course, I guess my apology does no good. I've already done it. My work surface just seems so far out right now. I'm not sure why, but it does. It's like that song, So Far Away by the Carpenters. Doesn't anybody stay in one place anymore? I don't think so. I think this glass top moves, and then I move it back so it's under the camera. Now this one is definitely going to be seen. If you want, you can put a tuck across here on the inside. If so, do it before you round the corners. Or not, you can just glue it on and then come back and re-round the corners. Okay, all we have to do is glue this on. And then this way we can flip this in and out without ever having to open the other two. You should be able to anyway. Let's get some green embroidery floss. I got this floss and this container at Temu. It's for the refrigerator. It's a, what do you call it, bowl? I know what I want to say. This looks like a Merry Christmas green. Bento. Huh. Use them for lunches. Of course, I pulled the wrong one. No, I don't see the other one. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll finish this in the next video. We'll just, I will tie this shut, glue it on the page, and have the card ready. And then we'll do 2 more pages. We'll finish our tag when we come back. And then, because it's easy to put the string on. You guys have done that before. And once we do, then we'll just flip this in and out to get the card in and out. I thought that would be kind of fun. Oh, it goes this way. Don't forget when you glue it in your book. Okay. Okay. All right. I'll see you in the next video. It won't be that long that we finish up these 2 pages, and then we'll go on to do 2 more pages and see if we can get done. I think that's all we need. I'm not sure anymore. Okay, I'll see you in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.